Do you want to learn how to do the yoga pose half moon, or do you want to make your half moon even better? Then join me on your mat. So let's dive right into how to do half moon or how to make your half moon better. Today we're going to look at three things. We're going to talk about your hand placement, whether or not using a prop or a block is going to be helpful for you to get proper rotation, and then lifting the leg. And then of course, obviously there's balance in there as well, and that's an ongoing thing that you're going to need to practice and work on your own. I would also suggest that it's a good thing to set up your phone or video camera, tape yourself, or get someone to give you a hand so that you can see what it looks like when you're doing it, because sometimes what I would see as a teacher, if you were a student in my class, will be totally different than how you feel that you're doing it or what you think you look like when you're doing the posture. So that video feedback can really help you grow with your yoga skills. So first thing we'll talk about is the hand placement. So you're going to want to make sure that your legs are just comfortably apart to start. Your foot should be flat and your front toes should be pointing straight ahead. And then we want to make sure when we put our hand down on the ground or on a prop, and we'll talk about that in a second, you want to make sure that your arm is going to be directly underneath your shoulder when you start to lift your leg up. So what happens a lot of times is people's hand is way too close to their foot, and then when they go to stand up, they're like a really tippy tripod. So you want to make that a really good firm base of support. So usually you want to bring your hand down in line with your pinky toe. So again, that's going to give you better base of support, so it's just a little bit behind you. And you want to shift it ahead about 1 foot to 1.5 feet. And of course, if you're a little bit taller, you may need to go just a little bit further. Okay, so that's just a rough guideline. But definitely your hand should not be beside your toes. You want it to shift forward. So just kind of eyeballing that spot. So when you start to lift up, you'll notice that my arm is going to be right underneath my shoulder. Okay, so that's about how far I need to be. You can eyeball it for yourself. Give it a try. Then we're going to talk about whether or not you should use a block. If you're new to yoga, I would always suggest using the block. If you're somebody who's not uber flexible through the hips and the hamstrings and the lower back, the block is going to be your friend in terms of getting you into a better position. Or if you're anybody who's just really struggling to get the openness and the rotation, practice with the block. That will really help your technique and your muscle memory to get your body into the right position without it. And then you can start transitioning away from the block once you've really learned and your body remembers how to do it. So I think the block really is your best friend in half moon. It can take you from kind of a really rounded forward and not so great half moon to one that looks nearly perfect just by adding the block. So I can't say enough good things about tossing that block underneath your hand. So we're going to use the block today. And remember, your block has 3 different levels, so depending on how much help you might need to get that rotation, find the right height for you. Obviously, if you need a little more help with the rotation, you're going to want to stand the block up on end to give you a little bit more of a lift. So I've got my block. It's in front of my foot, about 1 foot to 1.5 feet ahead. It's kind of shifted to the side a little bit, so it's more in line with my pinky toe. I'm going to put my hand on that block, and then when you're ready, you're going to start to lift up the back leg. And now your goal here is to really rotate the hips open, the chest open, the shoulders open, and then maybe lift the hand up. Okay, but don't worry so much when you first start about lifting the top hand. Focus on rotating open through the chest and hips. So quite often what happens in half moon is you'll kind of be in this position where you're still looking down at the ground and you're really closed off. The block can really help give you some room to grow and to blossom in your half moon. And of course, that last step would be try to smile if you can, maybe look up towards the roof and push your toes out on the lifted leg. So you want to make sure that your leg is contracting, your muscles are engaged. If it's really rubbery and loose like wet spaghetti, that makes it really hard to balance. So be strong in the pose and really go for it. And again, take a picture or take a video if you can to see your progress. Another tip that I have for you, if you're struggling with the balance aspect of half moon or trying to get that rotation through the hips and the chest, is try doing it up against a wall, and you're looking for your buttocks, your shoulders, and your head all to be up against the wall, and it'll also give you some security in terms of not feeling like you're going to fall over. So that can be really helpful in terms of getting a better half moon on your mat. Thanks everyone.